Hello StarCraft fans, this is FalconPaladin coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. This is a game between Barcode and puCK on Terraform, the latter edition. I recently did just cast a game between Barcode and Whiterah. I'm not sure if it's the same Barcode floating around the GM ladder on Legacy of the Void beta, but I get the feeling it is. Alright, in the bottom right of Terraform, the latter edition, we have the red Zerg player. It is Barcode. And in the top left of Terraform, the latter edition, we have the blue Protoss player. It is puCK, representing flip side tactics. Alright, so a PvZ, my favorite matchup in the game. Extractor trick being used there by Barcode, probably to go for a hatchery first, even possibly a 3-hatch before pool build. We have seen Zerg players do this against Protoss, and it's usually worked out for them fairly well, at least in the early game. I mean, it's not enough to secure them a guaranteed victory in the long run, but at the same time, it's pretty good stuff. Quick drink from my glass there, and it looks like, indeed, puCK is scouting. I like this from puCK. And puCK, if he sees a 3-hatch before pool play from Barcode, he might be able to throw down a pylon and at least scare a cancel out of Barcode. We'll have to see if that happens or not, but again, a scouting probe is exactly what I love to see from Protoss players. I like scouting from everybody, but especially Protoss, just so you can punish players who are being a little too greedy or going for an unorthodox type build, and you can exploit those weaknesses and usually come out with the win. So here comes the probe, and it says, I don't see a spawning pool. I don't see extractors. This is definitely going to be... Oh, no, extractor here. I am made a liar. And there goes the spawning pool. All right, I'm not sure if that was a reaction or not to the probe being there. I think maybe Barcode said, all right, the probe's here. If I don't throw something down soon, he's going to know I'm trying to go for 3-hatch before pool. But now I'm at least going to have units to deal with anything that puCK's going to send my way. So I like that. I like that a lot from Barcode. Nexus coming out. Looks like it was a gateway expand. Pylon being thrown down at the front. And Cybernetics core still, I was going to say nowhere to be seen, but there it is. There's the Cybernetics core right here on the wall at this ramp. So again, this pylon's being thrown down for photon overcharges. And checking for a third. Nope. puCK says no. I don't think that actually could have been possible. If Barcode wanted to put that down, he could. He has enough money to do so, floating quite a bit of minerals here. 16 workers at this point. Here come a queen. Yep, and another queen. Excellent, excellent timing for sure from Barcode. About enough gas for speed. We'll see if Barcode goes for that first, or if he's going to save that for something like a lair or a roach, or roaches. I guess not a roach warren, but nope, getting speed. So speedlings are going to be the order of the day. They can do pretty well against exposed nexuses like this, because the wall's up here. The wall is not down here. A flood of lings might be able to deal with this. A photon overcharge coming down here does one-shot lings, but it only lasts 11 seconds. So if there are a lot of lings, it could be enough to burn this down. A third nexus coming up from puCK. Oh boy. Alright, so let's see. If Barcode goes for a 2-base at this point, kind of maybe a Roach Ling or a Roach Ravager type hit, he might be able to kill this third and push into the second and kill it as well. We'll have to see what he decides to do, though, because right now it looks like a fairly macro style play from Barcode. He wants to take a third, I think. He does have enough money for it, but that probe is waiting a long time for the third. It says there's not one. What is going on? It is time for me to scout, and he's going to get in here and see nothing. Sees no gas, which kind of tells him something. It's not a crazy tech play. Like, it's not 5-minute Ultralisks from Barcode or anything like that, but a couple lings get in. They are slow lings. They're going to try to kill a couple workers, but nope. Good macro or good micro by puCK, pulling them away. Mothership core here to deal with them, and they juke her out and try to juke out the Adept as well. Get out this front door. No, the Adept closes the front door. Says, lings, you are here for a reason, and that reason is to die. Lings now have speed, so a little bit harder to kill, but the Mothership core still does 8 damage to them from the air, which they can't really do anything about because they can't shoot air. Adept gets a free kill for having a hold position there. And third base is on the way for Barcode, but it looks a little bit late. I mean, puCK's going to have 3 bases before he will. And as a Zerg player, that's not anything you ever want to see. The lings still scouting, which is nice. Just kind of running around trying to see if puCK's going to throw up some tech structures in his main base. Perhaps a robo facility, he says, or a Twilight Council or a Stargate or something to tell me what's going on. But puCK is refusing to help him out with this. He's not putting tech structures anywhere. Oh, where the heck is the Twilight Council? Here it is. Okay, yes, there is a Twilight Council the lings have seen at this point. So he does recognize there's a Twilight first, which probably means Blink Stalkers, and indeed Blink is on the way. It could have also been Resonating Glaives to increase the attack speed of Adepts by 45%, but today it looks like it's going to be Blink Stalkers from puCK. Alright, I've actually seen puCK go for Mass Phoenix against Zerg. I've seen him go for Colossus against Zerg. It doesn't seem like he has a very set strategy. He likes to kind of mix it up. against his Zergy opponents, and it usually works out pretty well for him. So Mothership Core does get a single kill, killing the finaling inside the main base of puCK, and just kind of setting up Banelings. Is it going to be a... It is Baneling drops on the way here for Barcode. I like this. Changing this one into a Drop Lord. Boop. And there it is. Oh, double attack here, and they have the speed ability. Let's see if there can be some Baneling Ring coming out here. The Lings are forcing back the Stalkers back to the line, keeping the Stalkers inside the base. I'm not sure if that's where they want to be, but here comes the Baneling Rain right here over the probes, killing a whole bunch of them, weakening a bunch of others. Here comes number 2, killing more and more of these guys and trying to seek refuge. No, a bunch more probes end up dead. It is now 39 to 53 total. 23 probes have died. puCK lashing out in anger, so mad about that, and then throwing out the heart. You know, nothing personal, just really mad about losing 23 probes there. Wow, nicely done, Barcode. Nicely done indeed. It's 52 to 43 total harvesters right now. More Baneling Rain coming on down, forcing an evacuation, and coming up here to go a second round of Baneling Ring, at least trying to force something to happen. Dropping Banelings, no, but getting blinked, stalkered down to death. Nice play indeed. Is this guy might force a retreat? No, no Banelings in that one. Centrifugal hooks on the way for Barcode. The problem is, I think right now all he has are Lings and Banelings. He does not have a Roach Warren. He has a Hydralisk Den on the way. That's pretty good, but I mean, I guess he's making the correct composition against Blink Stalker, because Lings do really, really well against Stalkers, especially if they have upgrades, and they do have that +1, which is just fantastic because there's no armor upgrade at all for the Stalkers at this point. So puCK is chrono boosting out workers as fast as it possibly can, trying to replace the ones that he lost earlier. A Warp Prism on the way, possibly trying to return the favor and do some harassment at the Zergy base as well. But here come the Lings. I don't know if that's enough to actually kill this. Stalker Ball probably needs more than that, taking the gold base as well. Went ahead, get more ahead, I think is what they say. There are still Overlords in weird, weird positions. Another Baneling Rain trying to get in here. A couple crashing onto Stalkers. Oh my goodness, almost caught those guys. Gonna try to, yep. Oh, what? Brings them down to 1 hit point. That was crazy. 1 hit point? Alright, well, probes managed to live another day. 26 probes have died so far. A couple of them did die, but it is now 3 base, officially to 3 base. This base is up and running. The gold base, once it's up and established, will be a big help to Barcode, but at this point it's mainly Lings, which is the perfect composition against what we're seeing here. So again, especially with the +1 upgrade, can they knock down this rock tower before the Stalkers arrive? And the answer is yes, they're going to be able to. Haha. Now Stalkers have to wait. They could blink over. Absolutely they could. So Baneling Ling against this Blink Stalker composition. I really like what Barcode is doing here. It's exactly what he needs to do. The Banelings have centrifugal hooks. They're fast. They're going to be fast on this creep. They could get a wraparound and get some Baneling shots in, but no, puCK does not want to commit quite so far. He kind of wants to stay in this choke point as the Baneling explodes, getting a little too excited there. The longer puCK waits, though, the more this gold base is going to help out Barcode, and the more trouble he's going to be in. Here comes some sentries to help out with this. Sentries are a great choice against what is going on here, and going for it. Banelings rolling right on in, a blink away though, and force fields keeping the Banelings out. Tried to keep them trapped, did trap a couple, but wasn't quite fast enough on that 4th one to trap all the Banelings in here. That would have been game changing, to trap all the Banelings inside these force fields and then just smash them down with the Stalkers would have been just crazy. I don't know if Barcode could have recovered from that. Again, just being very annoying right now, blinking away, picking off what they can. Poor Stalker didn't get the memo, manages to live anyway, and then the Lings come back to finish it off. Transferring drones to the gold base, or trying to make it happen, but no, drones, wrong place, don't be there. Alright, didn't really matter. Anyway, the Lings did take care of that fire. Baneling Ring, there it is, on top of a bunch of these Stalkers, killing a few of them, trying to explode in optimal places to weaken as many as humanly possible. And now the drones are they backside mining here? Where are they going? I don't know. Now Lurkers are on the way for Barcode, so that's good. That is good for the Zerg player. That's going to help with these Blink Stalkers quite a bit here. Yep. Because you'll notice here that Stalkers are armored units. Lurkers do extra damage versus armored, about 10 extra damage per spine hit. And yeah, puCK says, that's it, I gotta get out of here. There's Lurkers here, I can't deal with that as a Blink Stalker. So base is up and running. The drones are on the correct side of the mineral patches to actually mine here. Excellent, excellent work there, probes. Or drones, rather. Did I say probes? I meant drones. And Jack's looking pretty good so far, Barcode. seems to be pretty fantastic with his injects. Absolutely. Well played indeed by him. 160 1 150 supply. puCK is up back to 68 to 69 harvesters. He's replaced his workers fairly well. A fourth base on the way as well, but here comes the attack with the Lings. They're going to try to get a surround here on these stalkers, and they do get a big surround actually coming through the backside and the right side. Nothing much can attack on this bottom. The force fields are fantastic. Blinking outside of the force fields, though, all the sentries are getting taken down by lurkers and by Lings. Oh, sentries. No, 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 no. That's a big, big blow. Banelings try to roll and get target fire down there by puCK. Instead, the Lings going to try to get in. They manage to get through almost. Almost. The Desperation Adept Wall manages to save the base. Lurkers burrowing. Getting spine hits out, but blinking away just in time here is puCK. There's another drop down here with an Adept. Drones being forced to pull off the line to deal with that. And finally cleaning it up here. The Warp Prism trying to bounce back and forth. The Queens want to kill it. Another attack up here. A few Lings, a few Banelings. Managed to kill a couple Stalkers, weaken them, but not really as impressive as you would think. The Lurkers burrow here. Snipe down a cannon and just a couple shots there. Mothership Core throwing down Photon Overcharge, forcing them to unburrow and retreat. The Lings still want to get through here. Disruption. Oh, Purification Nova. Oh, Purification Nova. 29 kills. 29 kills with that Purification Nova on the Disruptor. Just ridiculous amounts of damage. Hero Disruptor of the day. And that attack pretty much did nothing. I mean, they got a pile on the depower of these gateways, which is pretty nice. More Adepts getting killed by Zerglings here. I think the Warp Prism did get taken down. 248 Lings have died in this game. Meanwhile, 29 Stalkers, 16 Adepts, and a Disruptor, as well as 6 Sentries have died for puCK so far. Fifth base on the way for Barcode here. Lings running around trying to find stuff that they can kill. This base is here and available, but there's 2 cannons. I think enough Lings would be able to deal with this quite well. These transferring probes, yeah, they are so lucky the cannons are here because they would have been in for a world of hurt if not for that. Disruptors continuing to be produced by Solus. Excellent, excellent play. Indeed, +2 ground weapons on the way as well. A Hive coming up for Barcode, trying to make this happen. More Lings coming out, but I think that's another cannon. No, it's not. Still 2 cannons. Okay, going to try to use Centrifugal Hook's Banelings. Speed Banelings to kill these probes, and considering they're so low on hit points, a lot of these are. I like this decision from Barcode. I like it a lot. The army moving along the north side of the base for puCK. It is +1, just +1 Stalkers, along with some Disruptors that do 145 splash damage to nearby ground units and structures. And here come the Banelings rolling on in. I think the cannons took care of them fairly well, though. 46 probes have died. Maybe there's a bigger hit than I thought. Still Overlords back here, still in scouting positions. Colossus are on the way for puCK. Colossus do really, really well against this Ling strategy that we're seeing here. This Ling Hydra composition. Yeah, and here comes the army showing up right here at the 5th base. There's nobody mining, but it's going to die anyway. Pretty big blow to Barcode at this point. He does not want to lose this base, but pretty much forced to do so. The army was there ready to destroy and did their job. So a couple Broodlings chasing along and then getting exploded as their timer runs out. Another Baneling attack. Is that what? Maybe from the north would be better attack than trying to come from this way. Or just rolling on up here. No workers for you to kill here, though. Yeah, I'd definitely move down here, Banelings. I'm not sure what they want to attack, but the Blink Stalkers from the backside are trying to kill drones. There are lurkers enough to chase them away. Baneling hits roll in and actually take care of most of the mining in this space and this space as well. I haven't seen this much Baneling usage since Fenner was doing Baneling drops in a cast I did a few months ago. So 72 probes have died so far for puCK. He's down to 30 total left. All these lurkers might be enough. They split, though. Purification Nova does kill two lurkers, weakens another one of them. It's hard to split lurkers because they're burrowed and they have to get out and run away, but on creep it's a little bit easier. puCK needs to win this now. I feel like he's in a position where he just needs to push with the Archons, with the +2 attack, with the Disruptors, with the Stalkers, with the Storm available to him on these Templars, and kill a base and just keep marching on to destroy this particular composition, because he is down 80 to 32 total Harvesters. Nothing is really mining in either of these two bases. This one's pretty much mined out. Here come the Stalkers. Like I said, they need to push the issue. Getting that Spore Caller before it kills the Observer. Lurkers weakening a bunch of these Stalkers, forcing them to blink back. The Spore Crawlers did get taken out surgically by puCK, but again, taking another base here is Barcode, just macroing to his heart's content. Viper, what the bad rally on those Vipers. That was not something that puCK needed to happen right now. drones being pushed up to this replacement 5th base. And the longer puck waits here, the longer it's going to be bad for him. I think the Lynx might try to come around the backside and wrap around this army, kill it from there, or perhaps get into the main. The Colossus holding the lines. Pretty scary, though. Purification Nova killing a ton of stuff. There we go. A few buildings. Not really too much of anything else. The Lings, I think, are trying to get an angle to come around the backside and kill these guys from there, but I really don't know. I think the Lurkers in a pincer movement from the right side and then Lings from the backside might be enough to make this happen, but here Barcode is not really feeling very sure about this. Purification Nova again killing a Lurker. Bailings rolling in, taking Psionic Storm hits though, and greatly weakening the Disruptors, but not actually killing them. A lot of Banelings have died so far. 5 Ultras on the way, +3 attack. Chitinous plating as well. Purification Nova whiffing there only does last 2 seconds. Lings getting on into this base. Purification Nova and a Sentry throwing down force fields is a thing here so far. The Lings managed to retreat with their +2/+1 upgrades. Banelings again want to roll in and kill stuff. Might be able to get up here, maybe kill these Templar as well. Just dancing is puCK. I don't know if this is going to serve him very well in the long run. Taking spine hits in order to kill a Lurker. I like that from him, just being very, very careful here. Overextended a little bit and did lose a Stalker. Not a huge deal. Banelings roll in here, kill the cannon, kill every single worker at this base except for 2. Somehow those guys survive. The Lings come back on in. Photon overcharge going up though, and a force field. I think maybe just killing this base in its entirety is probably a good idea right now. Baneling hits rolling on in. Trying to kill Stalker is not a very cost-effective use of the Baneling. And so far, 81 Banelings have died so far in this game. And just going for it, I think, is puCK. He doesn't care about the spine or the spines from the Lurkers. Ultras are popping up at just the right time, though. Getting right on top of those Archons, doing huge, huge amounts of damage. And that's it. puCK calls the GG is defeated, and Barcode is victorious. So, all right. Pretty good PvZ there on Terraform. Once again, Baneling Rain. I don't know why we don't see this more often. I feel like whenever I see it, it does really well for the Zerg player. Just again killing so many workers up here, dropping here, faking out, Baneling here mostly on the ground, but Zergling hits just the I don't think anything but Zerglings and Banelings got anywhere near the bases of the Protoss. It's pretty much Lurkers did push up here once, but didn't get enough to really kill anything that way as far as the buildings went. And it was mostly just Lurkers used for defense until they could take up to Ultralisks with their 6 total armor. +3 attack, and I feel like maybe puCK could have won this battle just because, again, the +3 or +2 damage, 43 damage versus biological splash damage would have burned these guys down pretty well. A few disruption hits with the Purification Nova could have done it at the same time, but yeah, probably smart to call it at that point. It was 75 to 29 total harvesters. Resources lost tab 15,000 minerals, 5,000 gas lost for the Protoss, 20,000 minerals, 6,000 gas lost for Barcode. So pretty even at that point. I mean, again, puCK lost less, but again, Protoss is a much more cost-effective array, so it makes sense. All right, so that's it. Thank you so much for watching today. This has been FalconPaladin with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and heard today. You can also catch me on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook, all at /FalconPaladin. And until next time, enjoy the music at the end of the cast. It is brand new music from Seabeats, so check that out. And until next time, as always, you take care of yourself.